Hello everybody, it's Thundergrounds TV. My name is Journey, and today I and my dearest friend Fior here.
Oh,
Hello, Fior.
hello everyone.
Hello. Yeah, we will be doing our. At this point, I feel like we can say that it's probably a good custom to make a tier list not only in Russian but also in English, because we did it last time, and I hope we will be doing it going forward. And
Yes.
what is a tier list, Nick?
All right, so a tier list is just our view on the meta, what teams are good right now, what teams are bad, and it's a nice place to talk about the structure of the tier list. So we have 5 tiers right now, and I'll go from top to bottom. So S tier is absolutely broken teams that are currently unfair, toxic, and
Wow, come on.
unhealthy for the game, for the meta. Yes, I'm using the really strong words here, but that's why it's like
the very
they're
best
gonna
teams.
be
The very best teams.
yeah, the very best teams, and we all will be really pleased if they would receive a huge nerfs in the following data slates. But now, if your aim is to win absolutely most amount of games, you would pick something from there. And then we go to A tier. Those are still very solid and super good teams with a majority of either good or alright matchups. And overall, a very solid choice to take to a tournament and win the game. They might need some kind of tweak, maybe a small nerf, with some change in other parts. And but overall, like it's a good place to be, A tier. Then we have B tier, perfectly balanced. Nothing has to be changed about those teams, and ideally, both things above and below should steer into B tier. That would be the ideal scenario. But we're not in the ideal scenario, so yeah,
it's a good
B tier
place
still,
to be. I'd say for a team to be.
It's a good. Yes, you can still pick a team from a B tier and go to a tournament and win it, but you're gonna face really uphill battles against some of the A and all of S tier. Then we have a C tier. C tiers are such teams that are they're all right, they're okay. It's really hard to win with them full tournament with 4+ rounds, but you can still have some fun playing them. And if you're really into the playstyle, you can achieve. You can even win. Frankly speaking, if you put a lot of time and effort into these teams, you have some chances. But teams in C tier, they have almost unwinnable matchups somewhere above them. That's just the way it is, unfortunately, right now. So such teams, they would require a buff, and we really again hope that we're going to receive a buff for them in the following data slates. And yeah, that's pretty much it about C tier. F tier, I'm sorry if your teams are just
almost non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, you again, from a hobby perspective, nothing prevents you from playing them, having fun, and taking it to a game against your friend. But here we're speaking about a competitive scene, and their F teams just don't exist there, basically.
Yeah, all right. And also at this point, we should talk a little about classify. I actually hate this wording. Let's call it rotation, right? The rotation is where some team gets a declassified status for some reason, declassified status, and they are no longer eligible to be played on the top GV run, Games Workshop run tournaments, right? How do we feel about rotation, Nick?
It's a extremely strange thing that happened to the community and to the game, because I think we've all been misled by GW about the nature of rotation, of declassification. And I personally, I thought that we would not receive any changes to teams that been declassified, but last data slate shown that even really all teams, they received a couple of pages even of the buffs. And for example, Starsiders, we'll be talking about them today, is a super strong team right now. So I think unless you're going to a really big GW tournament, you shouldn't care about declassified teams. You can play with them, you can use them on your tournaments, and I think from now on we'll be using them in most of our tournaments. because I don't see a reason not to. Those teams are fun. They are good. They're receiving changes. They're receiving buffs and nerfs. So I don't see a good reason to not allow people to play them.
And none of them are broken. What is most important? So there is no like S tier team in a rotation, no longer at least. And actually, so the only two reasons I can see why we would care about rotation. The first one is that, as I already told in our Russian that's late video, which I don't think you would have watched. So yeah, I'd better repeat it here. Yeah, I'd better repeat it here. So the point is that it's a soft deletion from the game, right? So they kind of telling you that you should care less about them because they will be gone in the next edition, which is due in 2027.
They will be gone.
Yeah, they will definitely be gone. I can see no way they will still remain, and you cannot actually buy them currently, which is funny. Most of the declassified team were repacked to 40k kits, right? And some of them even lost like sprues for specialists, like maybe Legionary didn't, but maybe Corsairs did. Maybe nobody actually did. I don't particularly know, but I wouldn't be surprised in the future. And also, second reason, and the only real reason why would you ever care about rotation is that it's a kind of different meta, right? You can kind of play a different game mode. That's pretty much it. Just to force people into some kind of it is sort of different, sort of. Just like at least there is like less 12 activation teams. That's pretty much the main difference. But you sort of can like mix and match, right? Just make another like style of play, somewhat, which is okay.
My main problem with that is that with rotation or without rotation, I don't think teams really shuffle in the tier list. So teams in A tier would stay there with rotation or without it. So I think what we're gonna do with this tier list, we're gonna go with current teams first and deep, and then by the end of the video, we'll just quickly shuffle the rest, rotate the teams across tier list, just with a couple of words about their position.
Yeah, and the only reason for that is that because there is so much teams, right? There is like 46 teams, and I don't really want to spend like 2 hours here. So let's begin then.
Yes.
You're up for a first pick then.
Okay. Let's talk about Heretic Circle. I think it's a good pick.
We already tried it once.
Yes, yeah. So I'm playing Heretic Circle right now. I think it's a very solid team. And yeah, Journey is right. I would put them in A tier as well. So they received an insane round of nerfs. And then small clarification, which is technically a buff, about the kill up, how it works right now with the reanimation. So you basically, reanimation gets your kill up back.
It's basically your personal buff, because from what we understand, everyone everywhere were already playing it that way, right?
Yeah, maybe. But still, I'm happy that they clarified that thing.
That's for sure.
They also nerfed shooting from conceal recently in the errata.
Removed an option, yeah.
Yeah, they removed an option, so they clarified that you also both models have to be on engage to do the magnify. But all these things considered, I think the team is really solid. The stat line is super good. The option for tech ops are also good. Like you can reliably do things that you want to do. There are a lot of damage, a lot of survivability, and Chronomancer is still one of the best leaders in the game. His abilities are insanely strong and powerful if you know how to put them right, especially Nanomine and Teleport. And you can do absolutely crazy things with him. So A tier team, 100%. I think they just suffer into a couple of specific matchups. And overall, you have a good chances against most of the meta.
Do you feel like melee elites is a particular matchup they're struggling with?
That it really depends on the map, because you have Nanomine that can help you to to get the threat ranges into manageable distance. And if we're talking about Galadark and Tom World, there it can be a problem because of the teleport and certain like areas of the map being isolated. Again, I just recently lost a game against Wolf Scouts, but it's specifically Wolf Scouts, right? It's not the rest of the.
I'm thinking more like so like if you would have asked me a week ago or like 2 weeks ago, I would have said that they're very strong, like maybe even a S tier contender. That would what I would have said. But currently, I am thinking that there is a lot of actual matchups they could struggle into, and also they are struggling into aggressive play. From what I'm feeling. So let's say you're like elite with dominate, right? You play a second turning point with like basically skipping it, right? You're not like playing into second turning point at all. Maybe you're getting 1 point for crit top, and your opponent getting 2 points for crit top or something like that. And after that, you can push hard into higher attack, kill a lot of models, and higher attack will be like -1 turn to revive them all. Because you will, at this point, have only 2 revivals, and then some kind of revival from your the guy who revives. What is his name?
Yeah, Reanimator.
Reanimator, yeah. So you can reanimate you will have less reanimations than you usually would do if somebody just pushes you hard and forces you to sustain a lot of damage. So I am thinking like it's not like the best matchup for them.
Look, it's the best strategy against Hero Tech Circle. Like, sitting in the deployment zone is a death sentence against them, but it's still a matchup in Hero Tech Circle's favor, because if you push aggressively, the guys, they out-activate you. They just put a mine, you cannot reach them, they can reach you, so you're getting... There is a Magnify, there is Teleport, there are a lot of tricks you can do with them. You can, like, put a guy in engage, pass him in your deployment zone, and then you can use like a SCP to ignore the distance for teleport and get him on the other side of the map, shoot through his eyes, command him to shoot again. What I'm saying is that if you push them aggressively and you skip second turning point, by the end of the second turning point, you're gonna receive 3 or 4 absolutely one-sided shooting attacks from Hero Tech Circle's hilariously strong profiles.
Maybe, yeah.
So that's... And again, you really would have nothing to do against that. And if you don't push, it's even worse because there is another mine. It's basically about out-activation. Since they out-activate elites, whatever elite would do, you just counter that. If they push, you just punish that. If they stay in the deployment zone, you put a mine there. They just remain in the deployment zone until the end of the game. I think it's still a really good matchup against elites. Most of them, except a couple.
But the idea that what I was saying is that you do actually have like a reasonable counterplay into the team. But it's actually any team. Maybe Mandrakes can like force aggressive push even on second turn, something like that. So there is a lot of like teams who can strangle them really in their deployment zone, which isn't great. I feel like for a team.
It's not great, but the amount of the team is super reliable. That's another thing. You have good stat line and 3+ profiles, 3+ safe, nice wound count to not die, and all the things considered just adds up usually to a game where you can dictate your own terms to your opponent. So yeah, A tier, I think it's a solid A tier.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the best leader in the game.
Is he though?
I think the only contender he has is a leader for Wolf Scouts.
No, I think a Murderwing leader is also quite comparable.
He's actually quite comparable to him as well. That's true. I feel like this guy is a little more, like versatile. He can also shoot. His melee is like very good, and then he can also shoot plasma, and then he is tanky, and then he can switch. Stratagems for free. So he does a lot of stuff.
Look, just one counter argument.
Okay.
He dies to 4 crits on Melta, and Wolf Scout Leader doesn't die.
Well, he kind of does. Once.
No, I mean he stays on the board. Right?
Yeah, that's why there is a contention, right?
Okay.
Talking about Angels of Death, of course, and the Angels of Death, I feel like is a pretty good B team, elite team. The recent buff didn't actually, in my view, and I actually double down on it because I've seen a lot of other games for Ages of Death recently after the first slate after the first tier list we did. I still think that they are like the buffs itself are not very great. They didn't really accomplish anything important in the last slate because the fat guy, he is very good, right? He's very tanky and he is very shooty, but at the same time he's not like miles better than the regular intercessor warrior, sometimes even worse than an intercessor warrior because he can't like move and double shoot. Or else he actually can, but he can only do it like pistol and heavy bolt, right? Something like that. Or can he even do it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he has a bolt pistol.
No, he does have it, but the question is, if he shoots bolter, the second shot is still 1 AP if it's not a bolter. Is it? I'm not exactly sure. Doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes even a regular warrior would be preferable, and sometimes assault warrior would be preferable than this guy. So the buff itself is like okay. At least what it does, it gives a good option, fun option, and you also can play this team finally from the starter set, right? You can just take the starter set, and at that point you like swap in one single hand and you probably have everything you need for to play. Maybe with a proxy you can play from a get-go. So I feel like it's a good change, but the team itself is just like pretty straightforward, blunt fist, right? Power fist maybe, which you basically just need to push and fight.
It's an excellent entry point to kill team, and they still put up a punch if you play them in a smart way. I think the buff was a minor one, but it's like you can feel it. And I just checked that the heavy intercessor can use his heavy bolter and then bolt pistol.
All right,
for 1 APL both.
Makes sense.
So it's he's really really nice, and B tier, perfectly balanced. Don't think they need any other changes for the rest of the edition.
Maybe a little buff to different chapter tactics because some of them are just unplayable at this point.
Okay.
And taking the fat guy is actually makes your go-to choice is Hardy plus I feel like sharpshooters, because sharpshooters will enable his piercing crits personally, and also like a buff for a sniper, buff for another shooting guy if you're taking them. I feel like maybe some chapter tactics could be buffed, but they still could be like this. Like in the current state, it will be fine. Moving on.
All right. Who's next? Let's put Scout Squad. Scout Squad first.
Yeah, I see.
B tier. I think B tier. The recent buff is meaningful, and
it is quite meaningful.
I've seen personally how these guys they're really strong on the field. I think the team is not like super strong right now, but they belong. I mean, in a nice position in the meta. You have a nice, solid stat line. You have 9 models. You have a lot of tricks, and again, I think the mastery for the team is starting like before the game even begins. So if you have a plan in your mind, if you know how to spend your scouting options correctly, where to apply additional plus APLs, and overall how to position your guys across the board, you can like. I think it's one of those teams that can reliably score some amount of points per game, just because of the volume of tools that they have. So like you can reliably go for 10 points and then like something more, and then you might already win the game if you just prevent your opponent from scoring more than that. So it's a really interesting gameplay. It's quite unique, I would say. And one of my teammates were playing together in KPTS team tournament. He's running them, and again, games I've seen were really really good. So I think Scout Squad are in a perfect position probably since the start of the edition. Do they need another buff? I don't think so. I think it's really easy to break them, to make them too powerful. So I would just keep them as they are right now.
I actually don't think you can make them like too broken by the rules. You can by giving them an operative. That would be too much.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can just make them a little too toxic or no, a little too complex for no reason. I don't feel like they need a buff as well. I feel the team is actually quite in the same spot as Angels of Death we've been talking before.
Yeah.
But they are like way more trickier and less stat checky at the same time, which is great. I feel like the team is
still stat checky. Like that's the thing about them.
I actually think also that this team is better in rotation than like in a classified tournament than is in not classified, because a lot of team like even less team which can out activate them, right? And that's a good thing to have. So the team, I feel like it's great. B team for sure. I wanted to talk about somebody and I forgot who. Oh yeah, Inquisition. So in my view, Inquisition is quite complex and at the same time is quite boring. You do only have like a single good play you can do, really, like a flashy play, which is a very strong play, and at the same time is a very like predictable. I don't know.
Which one is that?
You just give a guidance to the guys and put him +1 APL, and you wait to out-activate somebody, move out, and kill anyone. Probably kill somebody, right? Like a Melta first, then it's a Plasma Girl, then it's like somebody else. And that's pretty much the only play you have. Like, the good, interesting play, in my view. But the team is unnecessary, like not unnecessary complex, but it is, like it is complex for all the wrong reason. For starter, I would say that if you just give this team like 2 archetypes, right, it will just make the performance of the team on average better, because a lot of players wouldn't trick themselves into some bad bad TAC ops choices or something like that. And then recent buffs from like Exaction Squad for a start, that just makes the choice a little bit more complex, while you don't really need to have such a complexity in the choice. You get the idea. I mean, the fact that you can take a different TAC op and a different auxiliary support just makes this team worse for an average player. That's the idea I'm talking about. And everybody else just won't take them because they like take Scout Wolves, right? If you want to win a tournament, I don't feel like you would be taking Inquisition. You will just take Scout Wolves. Wolf Scout.
Scout Wolf.
And because
There's
of
only
that...
one Scout Wolves and Wolf Scout.
It's actually true. And because of that, the team is just unpopular while being strong, which is very strange to me. But it is what it is.
I think it's positioned in that weird spot where it's a strong team with which you can win tournaments, but there are easy alternatives. That's just it.
Yeah,
so if you aim to win a tournament, you just pick another team.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to win a tournament, why would you pick a boring one, right? You would pick something interesting, something flashy. And just imagine, like, a thought of putting all these models 4 games in a tournament in a row, like doing the deployment zones, like blah, blah, blah. It's just I've been doing that. I had been doing that in the previous edition, and it's tedious. And I understand why it's not popular. But again, if it's something that you like, it's a super strong team with it's a horde team with the reliability of a elite team, which is already insane. And then you have obviously the most, like, the strongest instrument in the game, which is absolute authority.
I actually say Denounce is actually the best instrument.
Yeah, I mean, you see that they have 2 best options in the game.
Probably,
both. Yeah. So the amount of you can be an avalanche for your enemy when you win initiative. You denounce one flank, you kill another flank, and just win the game like this. But yeah, for the reasons, I mean, there might be other reasons, but it's really strange. Yeah, I would think that they would be more popular and more used in the tournaments, but they're not. So it's interesting.
I feel like there is also, as you said, not like a better but easier alternative. But why would you take a boring, worse alternative, even if you want to win, right? So why would you play a boring team to win while you can play like a marine team to win, right? It would be easier. Yeah. You don't need to paint like 20 models first. You don't need to like transport them. You don't need to, I don't know, think about it too much. So yeah, and the minis are probably not what the people are looking for, unfortunately. Which in my
I think
view,
most of the
in my view, it's okay minis actually.
Another thing I think is that like a lot of competitive players were really playing them last edition. You just get tired of that.
Probably, yeah.
But all right, yeah, A tier, very strong. Probably the strongest horde team in the game. Not that we have a lot of them right now. Let's put sanctifiers in C tier. Poor guys, they just how the mighty have fallen, right?
I actually feel like they are all right, but why would you ever play them? It's a problem.
You think they are B tier?
No, I don't feel like C tier is a bad place to be. Like
I agree with that.
Because in our Russian tier list video, I feel like we put them in F. I think we should, we did, but I kind of changed my mind. I feel like they are all right, but why would you ever play them? That's the problem.
Agree. So what's the problem is that the nerf was really strong, but instead of that, again, like if you now want to play Sanctifiers, just play Inquisition Squad.
Just play Breachers, right?
Oh, Breachers, yeah, we'll get to them.
Breachers
sooner.
are Sanctifiers on like anabolics.
That's true. They have all the same like things.
They took the adrenaline shot, and their damage reduction is quite better than these ones.
Yeah. Thematically, it's a very interesting team, but it's just I think it's like losing its identity amongst other Imperial Horde teams that are currently in the game.
Like, you mean model-wise, or?
Yeah, I mean like idea-wise. It's like ecclesiarchy, right? It's like a charge of 40k.
Yeah, but honestly, no, I think they are actually quite unique.
But the models are just like.
But that's a problem, right? That's a problem that you are very unique, because like Sisters of Battle, for example, they are not like the most unique thing, and a lot of people just like the faction. These guys are something in between, right?
You don't have specific,
it's like specifically a popes in like with a meltagans. And while I can love like a power armor, and then I like Sisters of Battles, or I can like I don't know, the ecclesiarchy overall, and I still like the Sisters of Battle. But would I like the popes with the meltagans? That's like a personal question everybody should be asking themselves.
Interesting,
I think.
yeah. All right.
But do you like popes with meltagans, Nick?
Let's check in the comments.
All right, yeah. You'll be writing it down.
Obviously, I don't, because I don't play this team. But yeah, they are
you can still
mediocre.
like them without playing them, I think.
No. Me, like, as a competitive player, I only love things that are strong.
Oh, sure. That's definitely not the case, yeah.
So every single data slate, I'm unlocking a new childhood
memory, yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah, like I have this like memory of my mother giving me a figure of Wolf Scout when I was 5. You know,
that's a dark one. That's definitely a dark one.
That's a dark one. But it's just until the next data slate when they're gonna kill the team.
Then the colors are actually like little shifting, and
warping,
it would be an ultramarine, right, or a night lord.
Oh, a night lord. Yeah,
because it's some kind of a shade of blue in the end.
That's true. That's all the same, basically. All right, but yeah, C tier Sanctifiers, unfortunately, not feeling great in the meta. I think also the playstyle is quite boring. You're playing a super reactive game. Basically, you're just waiting for your opponent to do something, and then you react to that, and it's not giving you a lot of control on the board. And
then you shoot him on a 4+ without rerolls. That was worth waiting, for sure. For sure, yeah.
Yes.
Let's move on then. And let's talk about Sisters, another ecclesiarchy team. And I was thinking that they're quite shitty. I've played quite some games. At this point, it's like 7 or 8 games, which is a lot for me, because I cannot really play them like on a tournament, right? And I sort of changed my view. I feel like the team is all right. You can do pretty fun stuff with it. And actually, the play style is quite similar, if you think about it, to Sanctifiers. But they're just like better. Straight on. And just a alright team. It will definitely struggle into elites, especially into current elites. I feel like they're struggling a lot. At the same time, everything that you can out-activate and are not Space Marines, you could be comfortable with, even Necrons. So I feel like the team is alright. I had a lot of success with different setups actually as well. I feel like it's a very strange situation when your troopers are sometimes better than most of your specialists. Right?
Actually, the only other team like this is Sanctifiers. So they have this in common
That's
as well.
true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So Ecclesiarchy for a C or B superiority, I guess. Well, at the same time, the rules are way more complex and versatile, in my view, than the Sanctifiers.
I agree with you. I think they have a solid B tier. They might still need a couple of minor things or buffs even in the Fallen data slates. But again, I played against them a couple of times, and it was never an easy game. They can put up a punch, and they have a lot of tricks. Like I think the main difference between them and Sanctifiers is that they are pretty reliable. So because they're shooting with 3+, they're 7 with 3+.
I don't know about that. Always without rerolls. A CP reroll is the best one. Maybe,
Exactly.
maybe
Just-
they're definitely
just
more
hit all.
reliable on the shooting than Sanctifiers, and they also can like severe themselves all the time or punishing.
I think that the idea of this team is just more interesting, but obviously it's personal, and like power wise, I think they're B tier definitely.
I feel like they could get a buff for their reroll enablement, right? Like
Maybe.
after Flagellator or something. They're
Yes.
They're just bad,
For the equipment.
in my view.
Yeah, maybe reduce the damage from them, or make it like a guaranteed inspiring would give them an edge. Next, let's speak about. We were discussing that Navy Breachers. Frankly speaking, I think the guys belong to A tier right now. What do you think? It's the first row, second row.
I would be cautious about it. I would have, but maybe if the Inquisition is here, I feel like Breachers also should be here.
Yeah, it's such a fun team right now. They fixed most of the problems that the team had before, and
I would say they
now
fixed all of the problems.
Yeah, probably all, because we've been talking about giving them 4 shotguns since the first day they were like announced. No, not since that. Since we seen the Exaction Squad with the 4 shotguns, and boom, they just got it to them. And like Close Assault now a really nice ploy that you would actually want to use. The damage negation is reliable and easy to achieve. The skull is absolute menace, and the things you can do with it's hilarious. And
You mean
overall,
like 3 damage on average, right?
we're not talking about that. On average, it gets a lot of things done, but in reality, it almost always whiffs the roll. But yeah, overall, it's good. Is it a horde team? I think it can
It
be
is
like
12 activation team.
12
of course.
activations, horde team. Yeah, but you
It's
only have 10 guys. Like
it's a
10
definition.
real guys.
10 real men.
Yes.
But what the guys are they, right?
They're like strong. Okay, but
Maybe girls
the
even,
team
actually, as well.
I think the only problem that the team, I mean, not even, I don't think so. I was about to say that TACOP might be difficult,
It's
but
alright.
since you auto-activate every other team in the game, except other hordes, with which you tie, it's not a problem to score a banner, to put an envoy somewhere. Even to do martyrs is not a bad thing. And you can even
Never take martyrs.
Never do martyrs.
Never take martyrs. It's just my honest opinion. Martyrs are just shit. Never take them with anybody.
All right. But yeah, you have options. I wouldn't play Seeking Destroy probably on them.
Dominate is an option into Horde, because into Horde you don't really want to play like a banner or an envoy.
You can play Route then, because Dominate...
I feel like TACOPs are not a problem. The problem is that they only have like 2 long-range weapons, which are not very reliable. And I don't feel like
That's true.
it's just a problem. It's a weakness, right? But every team has some
Yeah.
sort of a weakness. So
Exactly. Otherwise, it
just
would be
just
necessary.
just play around it and be done with it. I feel like so it's a great team. Maybe it's a top B, maybe it's an A. We will take a look how much teams are ending up in an A, and then we will decide. I feel like a lot of them will be an A, and Breaches will eventually go to B. But maybe not. Let's go on. Chaos Cult. So you actually said that Inquisition is probably the best horde team, but I sort of disagree. I feel like Chaos Cult and Inquisition are in quite similar place overall. What do you say?
The thing is, I unfortunately don't have a strong opinion because I've never played against Chaos Cult this edition, not a single time.
I've played one single time and I've seen like 2 games, which I don't feel like is enough to judge really, but the team is on the paper is very good. A lot of activations, beefy boys, mutation mechanic is a very good one. Just okay team. Maybe it's not, maybe because we don't have an opinion, they should be in B, right? Just to not spend too much time again, fantasizing, right?
Yeah, but on paper, I see them being really strong. But can they deal with like? I'm thinking, I'm playing Heretic Circle. I just put a mine, and maybe I just don't care about the guys, and whoever charges me gets D3+1 mortal wounds, and then probably dies and retaliate. Torments are a problem, but they're limited, and I think they might struggle against the elites. Against aggressive elites that don't give them opportunity to mutate properly.
I feel like into Heretic Circle they have pretty good matchup overall because they will just wait you out, skip second turning point. They will take the Steel Intelligence, right? And then when there is a lot of threats, they will just push you down into your deployment zone and score everything while you constantly being stuck between poor little boys which you couldn't really kill in melee and the torments who could easily kill you. So I feel like it's just like an avalanche of muscle. You just push and hope to overscore.
Unless I do a blast into 5 models. Can I do that?
Which will probably kill nobody, obviously. Right?
Shit.
Yeah, I've seen that quite some time. Maybe everybody will die. But it's a coin toss. You're up.
Moving forward. Interesting. Let's talk about Deathwatch. So I think it's a perfect B tier right now. Second row.
I would definitely say that they are better than Angels of Death, but the matchup into the Angels of Death are not an easy one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I think especially now with the heavy boy on the field, like he can easily double shoot the guy if he gets.
I mean more like they will out-activate you. They will just trade captain to one of your miniatures, and you can't do anything about it. You just can't. It will happen. The question is who he will kill. That's pretty much it. And then you will probably kill him, but you still it's not a favorable trade for you. And that's the most elites is the same way because you can't really kill an elite with a plasma pistol now. That's a problem I feel like because you could have not easily, but somewhat you could have done it with a rending and little 5 previously. Currently you can't. You don't have a guaranteed piercing anymore on any of the pistols. So into elite they're quite worse. And also you do want to push elites, right? But now on an opponent's territory you are worse. You're basically getting +2, +3 wounds, which are not a problem for most of the elite teams. They will just double down shooting on you or feed the model and then kill you, and you still will be in the losing trade after all. So I don't feel
I think that's the problem with them right now. Not a problem, the thing that just brought them down from A tier.
It's a weakness, I would say.
Before they were super all-arounder of a team. You could stay on the center line and be absolutely hilariously powerful and unkillable. But now you have to decide either reroll or minus damage only on normal dice. And yeah, I think they're in the perfect spot. I wouldn't call them a good choice for an entry level in the kill
Why?
team. They're
I would
still
say
quite.
they're alright because you will be mostly playing as elites who don't know how to play against you, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that they, unlike Angels of Death, they have a higher floor, like entry floor. So you have to know the game and interactions to be able to properly utilize your strategic ploys, what to do with your equipment, and like every single operative has a lot of rules and all these things. So they're a bit more complex than Angels of Death. But
I disagree, but I don't feel like this discussion makes any like it matters too much.
yeah,
because
let's agree to disagree. Let's agree.
I've seen quite some new players personally on a Deathwatch and both on Angels of Death, and I feel like Deathwatch is easier for them usually. Maybe not easier to win, but definitely easier to get the party going. So
I think right now no, because before you could do all the things simultaneously and be strong. Now you have to choose, and decision making makes a decision difficult, right?
maybe. Let's agree to disagree. It doesn't really change the place of the team in the tier list. Let's move on. Let's talk Felgors. I personally just hate Felgors. I feel like the team is like fundamentally broken, right? And you can't really fix them anyhow. You can either make them bad, like terribly bad, or they are an A tier. And you can win any game. I don't know. I just hate them.
I think it's alright to be an A tier. I think they're in a good spot right now.
Not the entire like timeline. Because they never been bad. Like for 2 months. when the GV said that they like -1 APL to control. So it was something like they couldn't control objectives at all in Frenzy for like 2 months in the second edition. That was the time they were very bad. But from that moment, from the moment they redid that nerf, they are A or S tier team, which I hate.
I don't think they're S tier.
They were either S or A. That's what I'm saying.
They were, yeah, okay. But now with the nerf of flank, they have less options for a good takeoff.
You still take flank and you still score it reliably, which is fine.
It's worse. It's harder to do that. And I would say that most of teams in A tier and all of the teams in S tier would like completely destroy Felgors. I mean, S tier would completely destroy Felgors. A tier would have a okay matchup against them. So there are ways out from this matchup with Heart Attack, Inquisition, and Breachers for now. And for the rest of the teams there, I mean, it's still a very strong melee-focused team with one of the most powerful mechanic in the game, which is Frenzy. But I don't think they are as oppressive as they once were. But they still deserve their position in A tier, I would say.
I feel like they are gatekeeping everything in B tier, basically. Like most of the teams, they're not so good or relying too much on the shooting. They're just like gatekept by Felgors.
It's funny because right now, Deathwatch, Angels of Death, and Sisters, they play alright into Felgors.
At the same time, it won't be easy. They are just alright. I would say it's 50-50 probably.
But it's not a gatekeeper. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Gatekeeping is
I'm
like
saying if you rely on the shooting too much, that's what I said, right? Let's say like Aquilons, it's out to lose, nothing you can do. Rattlings, I don't feel like you wanna enjoy it. You would enjoy it. What else? Like dwarves probably don't like it. Kasarkin, I don't want to even discuss it. I don't want to even think about it. Honestly, maybe like a better player will always outmaneuver Felgor player. But Felgors are so easy, and I just hate them. Maybe not A. Maybe they're like in a lower A, top of B. But I feel like the team is very good. So I am playing Felgors. I don't really care about Breachers. I don't really care about Inquisition. I don't really care about Higher Attack. I'll just take Retrieval and like fire to the points for entire game.
No, you do care about Breachers because they can, like a proper positioning of Skull can stun 3 or 4 goats, dealing on average like 3-6 damage, which would make them like unlikely to kill anyone in the game anymore, and they would probably die in their charge. So,
But they won't.
and
They will not charge. They will just put themselves on a point and stay here, waiting to be killed like twice, even after receiving all of that damage.
okay, I know that it's your personal hate towards them and the Necrons, but I think they still late here. But just don't over dramatize that.
You know what is good about rotation? That all of them will be gone in the next rotation cycle.
Okay, it's a shame that we just said that we wouldn't do rotation.
It is sad, but maybe I'll change my mind. Who knows? Let's move on.
Please don't. Yes. Let's go for Jaegers. B tier.
Probably just B.
It's interesting how, again, I feel there's so little players playing this team. On paper, it's a solid stat line. I guess the main problem with them is that they lack damage into elites right now, and the mobility issues. Maybe it's not a big of an issue for this edition in particular, but overall, it's a solid team with a good stat line, with a lot of instruments, with 10 models, which is very, very good right now. But as I said, against certain elite teams, even against like Deathwatch, you would just struggle if they push you, because they would actually get a nice use of damage reduction on your half of the map. And 3 shotguns against 3+ safe is just not getting the job done. B tier?
I feel like Tacops us like hanging them back a little. If they would have had recon, they would have been good into elites, I feel like. Because you can like either scout them or just retrieval and just force them to go into your territory where there is mines around. You can like shoot them on a counter charge or something like that, right? It's a lot of stuff you can do, but you can't push them. Because the best play you have versus elites is just move the... Oh, my cat is pressing pay bar. You can just move dash and shoot a shotgun or crack them, which isn't good.
Yeah.
Maybe even a C, I don't know. The problem is that a lot of teams and nobody is actually playing them. That's it. You can just find something better in the end. Speaking of, I feel like Hearthkin are also here and nobody plays them like reliably. We had quite a few in the last big tournament in our TTS community, and one of those even made it into top cut with 2 technical victories, which is funny, or even 3. But I've seen a good player on them. One of our champions was playing them, and you can do some interesting stuff. You have a lot of 3 activations, 3 APL actions you can do. You have a very good shooting and a lot of damage. On the contrary to Hearthkin, right? Hernkin. While Hernkin struggle into elites, you will probably be fine. Because you can like move dash and shoot him with a plasma, which is quite better than shooting him with a shotgun. But at the same time, as soon as somebody starts to out-activate you, you will be very bad into them, because you're basically like... You're very, very... what is it? Very weak to melee, right? Into full melee teams, for example, the Felgors, right? You can't really do anything about them too much.
No, actually, I think that they're quite alright into Felgors, so to speak. But I think it's a team where you have strong tools, but overall the magnitude of them is just simply not enough compared to other teams in A tier and above. But they're still solid. I think that's the main line. Don't put them there, dude.
You don't think they're C? I feel I would have preferred some buffs. Maybe, buffs not to make them like insanely better, but to make them a little bit more interesting. Something like that.
I mean, it's we can put them in B tier and still ask for that.
Let's take a look.
The true representation of their power is B tier than C.
Maybe. No. Let's see.
Okay, yeah.
No, your choice actually. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's talk about XV26 stealth battlesuits.
I hate this name actually. I just personally hate the name. Why
I think it's C tier.
why they are not just battle suits or like stealth battle suits? Why
No, but
would you
know,
put XV something beforehand? Why would you do it?
Okay, a question for you.
Uh-huh.
What is the name of Wolf Scout team?
The Wolf Scouts? What?
No, there is no Wolf Scout team. It's not a thing.
What?
They're not no Wolf Scouts.
And who
The
are
name
they?
of the team, they're Black Fangs Ghost Pack.
No. It's not their keyword. It's you're factually incorrect because we're talking about keyword you're using in the rules, and the keyword is Wolf Scout operative, right? But these guys are not
No,
like
but I mean,
stealth battle suit operative. They're XV26 stealth battle suit operative, which is strange. I feel like that's a problem.
I mean,
for me.
it's a new prototype. Maybe they had to do it for law reasons. You know?
For marketing reasons, yeah, of course. Why not?
Obviously.
Hyper.
No, but I like the name, to be honest.
Well,
I like it.
That's all right.
But the team, let's talk about the team, all right? The team itself is packed with interesting mechanics. The problem is that every single mechanic that is interesting that they have is extremely limiting at the same time. So instead of having a bunch of really good things that you could do, you have a bunch of really good things. Then you read through them and you realize that they're not so good because so many things that are limiting them. And also, like, there is a huge problem with stat line with them. They are one of the worst teams in the game in terms of stat line, of how much wounds, what are their successes in melee and shooting, and they're just not filling the spot of they're super elite team, right? In a nutshell, because they have 5 models.
They are
natural
just
ones.
like elite, yeah. Something compared to Necrons in that sense.
No, but because Necrons have 8 models and they have 6 full models and then 2
Not all of them.
smaller like
Canoptech,
Necrons. No,
Canoptechs, for example, have like 3 good models, right?
but Canoptech's warriors are respawning
But
and they
it's-
also put up a damage on the board.
Yeah, we get the idea. The point
the thing
is
is-
correct, yeah.
They're hilariously weak in terms of their stat line, and I think that's a problem. I don't think they would be broken if they'd all have 3+ shooting attacks, for example. That wouldn't change anything.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not so.
Look,
I'm
but
not so
listen,
sure.
listen. My problem with them is that the combination of tools that they have, it just, in my opinion, it's not a really good game design. So what? Look, let's give me
I
a
don't
minute
agree. I
to
don't
be
agree.
philosophical, okay? Just give me a minute.
Philosophical is a
Yeah,
good way
what-
to be. Yeah.
What do we do? Why do we play Kill Team? We love to throw dice, right? We love to do that. We like
Not
it's a
my
part
personal.
of the game. It's
not what
it's a-
I would have said, but it is. Somebody would say that's as a point. Yeah.
it's an embedded, crucial part of the whole system. And what is the main mechanic for the Celsius? You throw less dice. You have accurate 1, 2, 3, and so on. And I personally hate accurate. It's like my personal hate, right? I just don't like the way it interacts with every other rule in the game. The fact that you just roll less dice, it's just not interesting to me. But it has so little synergies. That's the other problem. You cannot synergize it with almost anything else. It doesn't synergize with crits, with rending, with lethal, anything that would modify a dice. It wouldn't synergize. And add that to every other problem that the team has. I think they really need a buff, and I hope it's going to be a good one. But it's I don't think they're F tier, because I think initially I was thinking that they're absolute garbage, but a couple of good friends of mine showed me that they can win games, they can play really fun, and they can be really toxic against certain other teams. But they definitely need a buff.
I would say, in my personal opinion, the team is definitely not a garbage, and I wouldn't say they're even bad. Honestly, if we put in Hernkin in B, I would have put Stelsius also in B. But they're like, the playstyle is so different, it's so strange, it's so hard to play with or play against. And it's also, I feel like it's very toxic already, right? And it's very easy to break. The team itself could be like S tier with just couple of changes. And it will be like the worst S tier, I feel like. Like, make them ignore Obscure completely, give them 3+ or some ability to double shoot or both. And it's like very, very strong and very toxic team to play against. Because these guys can like stand in the open and you cannot really do anything about it with most teams, which is very strange and very like first game versus Celsius, you will lose probably. If the guy who is playing them are very experienced on the team, and it's very easy to make them like on average much better versus everybody. Let's say your personal hate is accurate one. If you give them stacking rerolls instead, I feel like they will just obliterate some teams, most elites probably. And I don't know, maybe it's all right, you know. In my view, nothing is wrong if the team is like shining star for a month or something like that, or for a slate change, and then it's like in B tier forever. In my view, it's actually a perfect destiny for any team. Let's say your team releasing, right? You are hyped, you want to play. It's quite actually quite good. Not like Wolf Scout good, right? The good example would be, I don't know, what would be a good example?
Like sisters, I don't know. They're sisters, right?
No, I mean like your A team tier. Let's say that maybe let's say this watch on release. Or maybe even Ravenders on release, like you like that. You just want to play some games, have some fun, and then you got nerfed, and your team is pretty fun, still good. Not the way that it goes with the Cell Suit, while the team is just bad on the practice, and then it will be probably buffed a little to get into the B, and you will never be on a high level, which is unfortunate. But most team will never be an S tier, unfortunately, as well. So yeah, my first point is that the team is quite okay. It still needed some kind of buff because at some point you will just be losing models without killing anybody because you can't roll 4+. Something like that. And the other point is it's very easy to break. Just buff some stuff. I don't know, some uncontrollable buffs will just make this team too toxic, which is not a good thing to have, I feel like. So yeah, currently it's definitely in C, but let's be very cautious about wishlisting buffs for this team. That's my point. Moving on.
Good.
The Nemesis Claw, which actually quite a fun name. S tier name, definitely. I feel like the team is just good, and that's it. It's just okay. Unfortunately, you're a bit more. You're relying maybe a bit too much on a Vox Scream, which is now a dice roll, and I don't like it. I feel like that is bad game design, and overall a bad game design decision. But at the same time, I don't know what would you else do with a Vox Scream not to make it broken as it was before, right?
Yeah, I think the way you put them, I really hate what they did to Vox Scream. I hate when you make a powerful tool a dicey thing. Like I cannot stand that, and I would rather make it make it worse in any other way except being it unreliable. But they went with that change, and me, I just don't like it. But overall, I think it's a team that surprisingly has good chances against like Canoptech Circle, against Wolf Scouts. They have outs there, and that's interesting. But at the same time, they would suffer against a lot of counterparts in A tier. So yeah, it's interesting how a lot of elites already ended up in B tier. But I think it's good because there will be some exceptions to that rule.
You can be just overwhelmed, especially in the matchups when you are out activated, because you don't really have any play into teams who are out activating you. And also, I feel like the infiltration is not the best choice for them as well. Don't know. Tac Ops are also a struggle for them. In my, I feel
but
like
it's again, it's a solid elite team.
Yeah,
they can be fun to play, and I think one good thing about them is that you would almost never face a mirror matchup because again, it's not a popular one. And I mean, for me, it's a big deal. I hate mirror matchups, so
I actually
would
quite
really...
like them myself.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like it's also it's a very if you are better in mirror, you will definitely win. So everybody
makes sense.
Most people saying that the mirrors always comes down to dice, and I never seen a mirror game which were lost due to a dice roll or something. The better player will always win, in my view, and it's very interesting.
Fascinating. All right, let's move forward, and let's speak about other Night Lord team.
All right.
Since we're here, yeah, Murderwings unfortunately go straight to S tier, and I think we might not, for now, realize how strong they actually are until like a lot of good players would pick the team and show us in a bunch of tournaments how oppressive and insanely, like, again, it's not on the level of Wolf Scouts, I would say, but it's dangerously close to that. The amount of things it can do on the open field is just insane, and it's like completely breaks the game. If you play against them on any open terrain, you would most likely have nothing to do because they would just AFK on the vantage levels until they close enough to do whatever they want with you. They have everything. They have stabilization. They have 6 full models, unlike Wolf Scouts, for example. They have reliable profiles. They have a lot of AoE, and the one that actually is like one of the best in the game, the Depredator, spinning twice per turning point, is just getting insane of amount of damage, and it covers a big portion of the map. What else do they have? Leader is a contester to the best leader in the game as well, with his damage reduction and the overall profile. So they have a minus a PL on the guy with the Vox. They what do they also? I mean, almost everything that the team has is strong, and the main mechanic of boosting, which means basically flying in the terms of previous edition, just too strong. They need a nerf, and I hope they'll get one.
I personally don't think they're ever near this full scout level. But I do agree that they are broken on the Volcus. That's definitely the case. And unfortunately, I feel like it's not a problem of the team. It's more a problem of the Volcus itself. And the way that we don't have a lot of like Seek light shooting or ever Seek shooting, right? Because we don't really want to have a lot of Seek shooting anywhere on the whole map. Like infinite range Seek light or something like that. We don't really want to have that. But it would be great against this team in particular. On a Volcus. And I feel like the Volcus is a problem because it's quite hard to go around, right? To move in the Volcus, really.
Mm-hmm.
But for this team, it's not a problem at all. And also, it's you can't really do anything about the guy on the top level for you in most cases. And this team is quite easy, can get to the top whenever they want. I don't feel like the profiles itself are very is a problem. I feel like just
it's more of a combination of
it's
the
specific
tools
combination,
plus profile.
a specific combination of Volcus plus boosting. I feel like.
But even on the Gallowdark, they're still quite oppressive.
They
I
don't know.
They are.
Let's switch a little. Do you feel like they should be banned because they're broken?
That's a good question.
Okay, I will be
initially. Okay, yeah, just go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and say that I don't feel like this team should be banned because it is strong, in my view. Because we've seen teams way better than they are on release, even now. And but at the same time, I'm not like against the ban itself in the nature, right? You can first of all, you can do whatever you want. Nobody could command you what to do. At the same, but I myself would prefer if every team on release would be banned, right? If you have like a freeze before the first balance change, and then you can lift this ban if you want to allow a certain team to a tournament you're organizing. And that's the approach I would take myself. I would have just maybe banned both Sisters and Murderwing on release without even knowing their rules, right? The teams are going out. We know the box. We know what the box contains. And the teams are banned before they get like first balance pass or something like that. And after that, they are no longer banned. But I can like lift the ban from Celestials because they are not broken. And Murderwing will stay banned, and everybody knows that beforehand. In my view, it's a good idea. Because the controversy in Polish like TOs banning Murderwing, I don't feel like Murderwing is a problem. Just people got not bored, but exhausted of a good elites. Like good elite after a good elite, right after Necrons, then a broken elite, then again close to be broken a good elite. And there, like, the patience snapped, and everybody like, let's just ban them, please. I myself feel like Wolves even now Wolves are better in most other matchups. Not like 1-on-1, but in most other matchups Wolves are better. And they're way more broken on the release than Murderwing did. Which is not an argument not to ban. But we shouldn't be banning because the team is broken, right? That's the idea. We should be banning because everything should be banned before it got any changes it might need.
It's a very good practice, and that's going on in the competitive systems. Like, you cannot really compare Dota 2 to Kill Team, but that's just how the things are, right? If we want a healthy meta, we need some time for people to test the team, and it's like, I would just ban it on the major tournaments maybe, and just leave it for people to play and enjoy and everything else. And I completely understand the decision of Polish community in this sense. Maybe we should just start doing that as well, because apparently it's just a wild card. We either get a Stealth Suits or a Wolf Scouts.
Maybe. We will discuss it internally in the future, for sure. Not in this video. But I myself would say that I wouldn't personally ban Murderwing. I don't feel like the team is on a that level that it should be like completely removed from the game.
Look, if it would just come down to a ban, right? Not like the box is banned, but I personally decide that I need to ban this team. So to summarize, the team shouldn't be banned because it's too broken. It should be banned because it's a part of this like ongoing process of releasing the teams that are not really balanced for the meta. So we should just ban them all until we see what they actually are. And in this sense, I completely understand what they did in Poland. Maybe we should do the same, but we'll discuss it later. And now it's your turn.
My turn to ban Wolves, because I do really hate Wolves. Let's just get on with it.
Okay.
I feel like the Wolves are still a little overtuned. Let's just phrase it that way. A little. I personally hate quite some things about the Wolves. First of all, I feel like the Wolves have dealt a lot of damage to the game in its like entirety, because a lot of people got disappointed in the game and lost, left completely. And as a matter of fact, I have like an examples I could reliably speak about. They are also like the most easiest broken team to play on a release, and just like reading rules is unfair to yourself, to you personally. I have like a friend of mine who've been playing a lot of Wolves, unfortunately, on the Prime. In a gacha league, we have in a like our local league, just a lot of games, unfortunately. And he was playing Nemesis Claw, which are on the paper are not quite as bad into the Wolves even before nerf. But he's a new player. It was very hard, and you just like you read the rules for Nemesis Claw. Okay, I can take like a plasma pistol and a chainsaw with a rending. That's great. Then I can like take a plasma gun. All right, but then you like open up the PDF of Wolf's rules, and then why would these guys can take a plasma pistol and basically a power weapon, and then also have like another plasma pistol? And then also have a gunner, who's not only like just a gunner without HOT pretty much, but also can strike you with a 4-5 damage profile melee. Why it is not a fists? He don't really have this like a sword on his back. Why it is not a fists he's wearing? Why is it a combat blade? And it's just unfair. And it's still very unfair. And the team is very strong into anything shooting. Currently, you can at least kill them in melee. I'll give you that. That's for sure. The team is like worse into most melee teams, especially into melee elites, because as Nick already mentioned, you do only have still like 5 guys, right? The Volk was oh my god, Volk. I'm speaking Russian when I'm nervous, the wolf, the doggo is quite bad, that's true, but it doesn't matter in most other matchups, right? So in the end, I feel like scouts are worse into Murderwing than into like most other teams, but most other teams are like way worse into scouts than they are into Murderwing, right? The Murderwing you can at least, I don't know, wait a little and then kill them, right? Can you really say that you can kill a scout wolf most of the time in shooting? I don't feel like it is it's true.
Who is a scout wolf, Johnny?
Wolf scout. I don't know. Scout wolf is also good phrase to say, no? Isn't it? Scout wolf. No, okay, it's like his surname.
It's a wolf that belongs to scouts.
No, it's like it's a surname. It's a surname. Scout Master Asmodee Wolf, something like that. Okay. That's strange. I agree. Wolf Scout. Can you really kill like Wolf Scout with a plasma? I don't feel like you can, and I hate it. I just hate it. Maybe it's also a personal hate because it's quite bad for most teams I would like to play, and I hate the idea that I would play them into the Wolf Scouts. So I just say it's the best team in the game. They will definitely receive a nerf. We can see it also in the stats. And let's hope it will be a nerf alongside Murderwing in the next battle slate. Oh my god, I'm nervous. My heart is pounding when I think about Wolf Scout.
Okay, yeah,
in a battle slate, obviously.
I think it's important to notice that the nerf that they received is a good one. It's it fixed a couple of problems. It fixed a couple of matchups.
It's a good start.
They were completely unwinnable before, and now you have some chances when you play a melee focused team against them. And yeah, it's also like I'm just a bit afraid that it's also really easy to kill them. Like if you really nerf a lot of things, they would end up being 5-team elite in a world of having Murderwing, which are like full 6 fully fledged insane models with a lot of ways to stabilize the dice and survive thanks to boost. So all things considered, they're still the best team in the game, I would say. And yeah, we can really expect the nerfs in the following data slate. Yeah.
What would you nerf actually? Because my personal problem is with Skjald, because Skjald is like for no reason have like 5 attacks on the staff, 3-5 or something. We also a blast, also like a lot of rerolls, and he can manipulate Storm. I just a single guy is better than most other specialists in the game.
No, I think he's not the problem. I think you can keep him as he is. What I think needs to be changed is probably Storm. Like, look, the easiest way to fix like a lot of things that are wrong about them is, for example, to make Storm wholly within instead of just within.
Maybe
it would insanely reduce the actual area that they can operate through. And what else you can do? You can do the same to Fang Bearer that GW did to Magus.
Yeah, that which means have to choose a path.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Yeah. So at the beginning of the turning point, you just select one of the 3 buffs, and it's gonna last until the end of the turning point.
And if you dead, it's gone.
And if you're dead, it goes away. Yeah, that's another easy fix. The fact that they specifically said that it remains, it's insane. Like, why
Let's
would
not
you
talk about
specify
it.
that?
Let's not talk about
Yeah,
it.
but okay. What else can be changed?
No other elite actually can at the same time ignore. No, there is quite some elites that can at the same time ignore APL and injury, but they need to do something with it or spend some resource. There you just take a guy who is like crazily good actually, and then you get the package. But
I think the other thing that can easily fix them, like actually fix, just give everyone -1 wound.
Oh, I don't
Make
know.
them Phobos.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a big change. It's insanely big change, because they would die in shooting and melee much more frequently with 12 wounds.
Two
It's just
shots from
much
Melt
worse.
actually would kill them, which is very
shots from
very,
Melt,
very oppressive for them.
3 shots from a Crack Grenade or any other 4-5 profile. And they would still have an equipment to survive in melee against like choppers, right? But that would fix the current problem that they just don't die in shooting attacks because of the, again, combined effect of all of the tools that they have for survivability.
Maybe that's an option for sure.
Yeah, so just make them Phobos, because they're literally Phobos replacements.
But you know, like
Make them
they're like experienced Phobos, you know.
No, but they're not full Space Marines, right? They're still Scouts.
But no, it's a specific wolf thing that they actually. So for Space Wolves, from what I understand in lore, but I'm not like 100% sure, their Scouts are actually a full-fledged Space Marines, and that's that's a feature, you know. They don't really have a Scouts as in a Scout squad. They only have like full-fledged Space Marine Scouts. But who cares?
All right. Yeah, who cares? We don't care about lore. We only care about the power of the team.
Let's talk about something fun.
Yes.
Kasserkin are fun.
Perfectly balanced right now.
And I don't know.
Only took them
maybe
5,000 years.
In my views, they may be a bit too weak into melee because they don't have like a melee specialist really. But there's nothing you would change, and nothing you should change about. They should be weak into melee maybe. You can still like make them 4-5 on like 4 attacks. No, it's not like 4-5. It's +1 attack, +1 damage on the first strike, something like that, on a KT, which is alright. I feel like the team is quite fun to play actually, which is very unexpected to me.
I would never believe to say something like that about Kasserkin.
Would you ever hear it and believe into those words? I don't know.
But now I think they're all right. I mean, the buff is strong, is good. It changes how the team plays. It gives them an edge. It allows them to do a lot of interesting stuff actually. So yeah, they still have the same problems that they had before, but now they're just slightly better in all things that they do.
The most important thing is that they are like easier to play in the end. Previously, you should have you had like 3 conditions on a just like a severe. You know, you don't really care about severe most of the times, but to gain it, you have like 3 different conditions you could strive for, which is like insane thing to say. Let's say Wolf Scouts would ignore everything, right, on a medic with like 3 different conditions, and that would be okay. But why the fuck would you actually try to get severe by not shooting into cover, getting like in an aura of a guy through the walls, or a radio operative? Why is it so complicated? That was very strange. I glad they removed it. And actually, severe for them is quite okay because they have a lot of piercing. Maybe that was the reason, right? You have a piercing crit.
Yeah.
Maybe they were feared to overtune them, but no, you can't. You can't overtune
Look, they would deserve a couple of months being an A+ or even S tier for all of the suffering.
It's probably. You know what? The only problem left, which are unreasonable to me, is that they don't have recon as an archetype. They had it before in the last edition. They had recon, and they have like a guy who is called Recon Trooper. So he does a recon. He's a recon guy, but it's seek and destroy or security for some reason. Which is
I think just having one guy, a Recon Trooper, is just not enough.
okay.
To get the archetype.
How many teams who have like 2 guys with a recon in the name, you know? With a recon.
That's a valid point.
So yeah, I feel like if you have a recon, make him like a scout trooper, right? Then it's alright. But he's specifically a recon. And they had recon before. Why is that the case? I don't know. And they are actually...
It's a mystery.
TACOP is a problem for them, personally. With the recon, they would have been like an A team, maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let's talk about Raveners. Let's put them in A tier.
Yeah, probably.
It's interesting that it's not a really popular team right now, even though I think they have a really good chances against most of other teams around and above. I mean, even against Wolf Scouts right now, since they can be killed in melee, I think it's a really good. It's overall the stat wise, the tunnel mechanic, all of the other like tricks that they have. I think they're really strong.
I agree.
They might be contender to a S tier, to be honest, in the hands of a good competitive player. But it remains to be seen, because
would you enjoy a game versus Murderwing on the Ravagers?
Yeah, but why would you not? You in a tunnel.
But he's on advantage, so nobody can do anything about it to each other.
Yeah.
While you can't really score your TACOP. That's I think is the problem. Because he can take like retrieval, and you can't do anything about, or even a flank actually. And he just don't need to do anything really. He can stay on top of the vantage points and just wait for you to come up. And you can't really score your TACOP. What would you take? Maybe like you can take, I don't know what, plant device, or is it install device? Plant device.
Plant install device. Yeah.
You
can do it actually if he stays on.
But then you would probably lose a model, because you can't really go plant and get back into the tunnel. No. I don't. I wouldn't. I would personally like to see the matchup. I wouldn't personally like to play it. Definitely.
Okay.
And maybe Raveners is just a team which is very, very actually. It's like complex, but it's not too complex. It's fun, but at the same time, it's not so fun for your opponent to play versus you. And it's not like insanely strong at the same time. Just very unique design. That's the reason the team will always be somewhere close to A, I feel like. Because on a tournament, if you never played Raveners or a specific matchup versus Raveners, you could struggle a lot versus experienced player. And he don't really need to play like your specific matchup, because every game is the same for Raveners. Pretty much. Maybe not in Murderwing. Let's go Ratlings. Also, personally, I would say that Ratlings as a C tier, but the only reason for it is TACOPs. I feel like TACOPs is the only reason.
But they can do plant device really easily.
That's true. But at the same time, you would still feed a model, which you would prefer not to do most of the time.
But for a guaranteed 3 points at least, I think it's.
But you can take retrieval, which is guaranteed 3 points, and not feed any models.
Yeah, with them you
for other teams, not for this one.
But no, I don't see the problem. They have Envoy really easily done again. You just put the guy on the 3rd level of vantage. Raider is just doing everything, dude. And you out-activate most of the teams in the game. Like maybe only a couple of hordes.
Maybe I just like recon too much. Maybe that's the problem for me. Because I'm not fearing.
I think they're a B tier, dude. 100% a B tier.
Well, okay, if they aren't in a B, they are definitely better than, and probably better than Sisters. That's for sure. Why would I say not? Because, well,
it's still
more activations.
I think the only problem that they have, is the models themselves. The small guys, short? The rat, yes, they don't have a visibility, and that's a big thing in this game. You just cannot see your target.
I feel like it's a specific Volkus problem, to honestly, not for like Ratling problem.
Yeah, I guess they're much
Because,
better.
because
on,
a lot of different
into
teams
the
can struggle on the
Thundergrounds.
Volcus with visibility, if you think about it.
Except Void Dancers.
Or Aquilons. Aquilons would not struggle. Or Vespis would not struggle. Who came out in the box with a Volcus? Hmm?
True. But I think they're still alright B tier. Probably, I don't know what even can be changed about them.
Yeah, nothing really you can change. Maybe just give them like conditional piercing on the weapon, because sniper rifles are not really good into elites. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
It's like a 3.6 bolter.
All right, what we're gonna do next?
Europe?
Let's do Hand of the Archons, and I think
Archon.
put them in B tier. Yeah,
Singular Archon,
B tier.
not Archons.
Just one guy, right?
Yeah.
Hand of Archon. Okay.
Maybe they are from a specific guy. That's a lot of Archons, actually.
Let them be in B tier. It's the most mediocre elf team in the game right now, and it's not a bad thing to be because B tier. But I don't know. It's like why don't we see them in the meta?
Because they die
Why
from
don't
a
people
crack
play them?
grenades, I feel like. That's the only reason.
But look, I mean, who doesn't? Blades also die from a crack
Who,
grenade.
who doesn't? Well, Wolf Scouts probably don't. Maybe we can like range the entire tier list from the fact that you can die from a single crack grenade. Like completely die, you know?
That would actually just give -1 wound to Wolf Scouts, and they would also be able to die from one crack grenade.
With the piercing reduction and reroll, I don't think they would. But well, it's a joke, obviously. I feel like the team is just alright. Great, actually, quite fun in my view team to play. A lot of different specialists.
You just played against it. Like, what do you feel? What do you feel?
I've said already, like on the start of edition, they were S tier in my view. Currently, they had couple of nerfs reworked, rewinded, right, and then also a couple of buffs on top. I feel like it's a great team. They are a great team. Maybe the only problem is actually that they are like dying to cracks reliably. It's not a joke in their case. Most of other elf teams are somewhat defended versus like 4-5 weapons with piercing. Not these guys. These guys will just die. Actually, 4-5 piercing weapons is a problem for Blades of Cain as well. Like if we think about it. I feel like they are on a level with the Blades of Cain, something like that. Maybe TACOP selection could be better, but actually quite okay TACOP selection. No, good team. Maybe even an A team actually, but
no, I
not
think the A team is going to be overcrowded.
You would never like take them for tournament if you want to guarantee a victory, because they are
guarantee a victory, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean you're still over relying on crits or something like that, right? It's not like you take Murderwing and you steamroll a lot of different teams on the open. They can struggle into any team and win any team, which is great position to be. So it's my choice now, right?
Yeah.
Black Marines. Actually, I feel like Black Marines are alright as a team.
Just slam them in the B tier like every other elite almost.
Yeah, but I don't understand this. This is a meme that they get nerfed every single slate. At this point,
Personal hate, I guess.
at this point, it's kind of strange. Just like last change was very strange, really. Why would you remove an option to D3 poison a guy close to you? Because it makes equipment straight worse. For no particular reason. D3 poison is not like a mechanic non-existent, right? It's not like very toxic in a verbal sense, right? It is probably toxic to get poisoned, but you got the idea. And for them, it was quite okay into elites. They do have a lot of ways to get poison into you, actually. They don't really need another unreliable way of getting poison to other guys, activating within 3 of them. But the additional damage was quite nice. So I don't know why they got this particular change. Maybe it will be reverted. I would expect it. But yeah, just
Poor guys. Poor boys.
I would compare them actually to Angels of Death. I feel like the Angels of Death and the Plague Marines
They are in the same box, right?
yeah,
That's
and
the
they have quite similar playstyle. But these guys are quite little more nuanced because of the poison synergies.
Yeah, and also less movement, which is a big limiting factor.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let's speak about Brood Brothers. Put them in A tier.
Somewhere close
I
to
think-
Inquisition. Maybe like I would do
Yeah.
it like that. Maybe.
I have like from time to time,
Maybe
occasionally,
like
I
that.
get this urge to play them again, and I genuinely think that they are really powerful right now because it's been a couple of data slates where every strong team in the game gets a nerf, and they just keep the same, right? Nothing is changing about them. So maybe they have a play into most of the teams right now. But again, I have, I don't know, maybe 150, 200 games on them, and I just cannot make myself try them. Maybe I will one day. We'll see. But overall, it's I think the change of attack ops extremely helped them. Envoy, Plant Banner, all these things are super nice, super good, easily done by them. And overall,
Still
super
intelligence.
solid team. Yeah, also. Oh, this is crazy. Yes, thinking about that. So, Brood Brothers, maybe even try and not Magus, but someone else. Primus is good, I've heard. You can just max command points and just swim in them. Make every single shooting with Relentless. I kind of like that. So yeah, I think Brood Brothers A tier.
I personally would say that they are crazily good, and the only reason you are not playing them is because you overburn. Really,
Yes.
just play a team too much. I am feeling the same about Tempestus Aquilons. Actually, let's talk about them. I feel like the team is just great. You just read through the profiles, you remember good times you had, and the team, and you imagine playing into like Wolf Scouts and Murderwing, and you like, yes, that would be great. That would be an okay game. And then you understand that it would be probably the most boring game you would ever play, because you'll just stay in the deployment, like photo them with a scout enemy movement, and pretty much the game. Then you out activate, shoot a melta, and if the melta whiffs, you lose. If it kills a guy, you probably will win, which isn't a very fun experience for me personally because I had it too much. But at the same time, I would personally probably take Aquilons into big tournament if I would ever participate in one in the nearest future, because I feel like the team have a lot of instruments into any other team really, and because there is not a lot of 12 activation teams, and naturally, right, because a lot of elites are more relevant in average tournaments. There is a lot of Space Marine teams. You would like feel yourself great. But then you will accidentally meet a Goremongers, automatically lose, and never want to play this game again, which is a problem, I guess. The team is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would play this team again in half a year, definitely, because it's like a good change of pace. You're just playing a slow, methodical, positional game instead of like crazy, aggressive or like flashy play. Maybe you should actually try Aquilons. Would you say?
Yeah, that's interesting. But then I have in my mind a chance to face Felgors or the next team I want to talk about, which is Goremongers. And like the thought of playing Aquilon just evaporates, you know.
I personally would say that I would win a general Goremonger player. Like, not like a super expert into Goremongers, they will probably outmaneuver me. But most of the guys who are playing Felgors or Goremongers, I would probably win on an Aquilon. It won't be an easy game, but I will probably win.
I think if two even scaled players are playing, Goremongers just have an upper edge. But speaking about the team, it's in a very weird state, I would say, because you completely destroy some of the teams, and you have 5% of winning against other. So, like the other elf team we're gonna be speaking about, which is Mandrakes, it's 90% chance of winning against them as Gormongers. You just have everything lined perfectly to kill those guys, and you play well against many hordes. You play well against a lot of A tier actually, but then you face the same Wolf Scouts or Raveners or Murderwings, and I think against all of these teams, you just completely die basically. So, but what they what's good about the team is that they're super fun to play as. That's, I think, on the tier list of fun teams to play, Gormonger would be S tier. Just the things you could do with your insane mobility, with 8 guys just, I don't know, running around the map and doing whatever they want. I just like the idea of this team. I think it's fun.
And you still in the games when you would automatically win, in most cases you can still whiff like a melee and die, which is just the problem of 4
Thank
dice.
you for reminding us that. Yeah.
No, I mean it's like 4 dice team, right? You don't have like, no, you can get a 5th dice, but then you don't have any rerolls, which is also it's a very strange position to be in. The team
Sure.
is overall I feel like is unreliable. And the only reason for it is actually the nerf for a Sevier on a ploy. Previously they had Sevier, right? And they could have, like, from 2 regular successes, they could have on a press of a button make 2 crits, which was very strong. And I feel like was a big deal. But now they can't, and well, sometimes you will just die.
We all do. We all do.
Eventually, yeah. Let's move on. Let's make it a bit quicker. I feel like the Wespit is a mediocre B team, and it's just very boring in a way what it can do, and also, but it's still like okay into everybody. Sometimes it will honestly just come down to a die roll. Most of the times when you can like just kill somebody from a single shot, and you don't roll like all the fails on the 4+, you'll just feel yourself okay. Otherwise, most of the times you will just whiff everything and die, which isn't great. But there should be a team like that, maybe, for particular person.
I think they're still fun. Like the things that it could do, it's interesting. I think the only big problem is the communal points mechanic.
Oh,
that,
don't ever remind me about it. No.
Yeah, actually, a really small buff that could completely fix the team is just allow them once per turning point for a communal point to do a free mission action.
Yeah, just reward the
That's it.
equipment. That's what I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah.
Because, oh my, just... we probably said it already in the last series, but I will repeat
Don't be
myself.
stressed.
Just
Don't be
imagine you have a mechanic which makes you worse, and then you have an equipment which allows you to ignore part of the mechanic, which is makes you worse. You're not only like losing on the mechanic, you're also losing on an equipment choice. While all other teams are just getting an equipment which makes them better, right? So maybe just give them an equipment that makes them better. I hate it.
Yeah, but the B tier is still like
Definitely,
I still think B tier.
11 activation is also huge.
Yeah, the stat line is good. That's also huge. Battleclade. Frankly speaking, I think Battleclade is unfortunately a C tier right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Maybe top of C tier, but I've seen a couple of good players desperately trying it to make it work. But the last nerf, I would consider it a nerf, what they got in the last data slate.
I would say it's a rework, but the rework
Yeah,
overall
it's a
makes
rework
them worse. That's true.
Yes. So unfortunately, C tier, I don't know. It's an interesting team with unique mechanics, and it's basically a replacement for Hunter Clade in some way, but another way, it's in a very strange position right now. I would definitely see them getting the buffs in the future.
I feel like they would receive some, that's for sure. I don't really know what would
Give
you.
them +1 guy. Ooh.
You couldn't because you are using entire box. You don't have spares in the
Yes.
box, so it won't happen. But yeah, you can like buff a lot of stuff. Maybe just a wound buff straight up, or maybe like a shooting buff somewhat. I don't know. It's a lot of things you can do. The team is at the same time is very easy to make insanely toxic versus like newer players. So you should be very careful. Moving on, Rakas. For the longest time, I've been saying that Rakas are B team, right? B tier team.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, they have like a
Are you ready
huge.
to promote them?
No, I don't feel like I am. Unfortunately, from what we can see in on a global meta, right? In the Western communities, on a IRL huge tournaments, they are quite good and doing really well. But I just can't see how, honestly. I just don't understand. Maybe I'm not as a good player as I think of myself, because I don't understand it. Even before current like iteration, where they lost an armor, basically lost armor, and received buff to ignore stun, somewhat ignore it. Previously, they would be like C tier for me. Currently, they are like strong B team, very good. I wouldn't ever change anything in them. But they are doing pretty good. They are doing pretty good for some reason. I don't understand it. What would you say?
I think they are either a top B tier or actually a low A tier right now. And the reason for that is that they're slowly creeping up as the rest of the A and S tier getting nerfs. That's the thing. So with another round of nerfs to the A and S tier, I think they would jump to the A tier themselves.
I wouldn't even say that they are like good into A team tiers. A tier teams.
Oh, they are. They have look. The thing is, they have a reliable ways of like killing elites in the S tier for all the things that they had, and they also have the things like they have a Justice Crash, which is one of the best mechanics in the game. They have 2 squeaks, which is actually a huge deal. And with the change, which was like one that decided to go when they gave them +1 APL on the charge, they're right now reliable against stuns. So what are the downsides? It's like they completely ignore dice in the game because of the record points. And that's like, compare this way of stabilizing dice to stealth suits. This one is fun. Because first you throw a lot of dice and then you just make it reliable. With stealth suits, you just never do that. You just never throw the dice.
So it's your personal vendetta versus stealth suits.
Yeah, but I think overall it's much better, and they deserve their spot in the top B tier or maybe even lower A. Interesting. I might want to try them as well, to be honest.
Yeah, go ahead. We don't actually have like good players playing them. And most are good players who've been playing them, like other than a single guy. They are thinking that the team is bad, actually, on competitive level. So it will be interesting perspective change. Let's move on. Blades of Cain. Honestly, maybe an A team. I'm not sure. Maybe a B, maybe an A. Something in between, definitely. For a time, I would put them in A because they have a lot of stuff you can do with a team, right? You have a lot of operatives, a lot of compositions you can try, a lot of tac ops you can play. You have a pretty good, like reliable shooting, reliable melee, stat line. You can go flashy plays. You can like sit back and relax. Lots of stuff you can do. It's a very nuanced team. While being like 7 warrior team, right? So I feel like the team is great. And actually, into the entirety of an A and S tier, they are quite alright. So I wouldn't like... Maybe I would fear like Necrons, but specifically. Everybody else, I wouldn't really be like feared of. Maybe Scout Wolves also, because they just very good into killing us.
also kill 8 wounds really reliably.
That's a strange fact that a lot of stuff actually kills 8 wounds for up safe very reliably, but it's not like they're killing, a Blade of Cain operative very reliably, because he will probably have a scratch, right, or a contempt. Contempt is a big deal. Can you reliably kill somebody when you can't reroll? That's a question you should answer.
When you have other ways of stabilizing your dice, yes.
You know the team who can reliably kill without reroll.
Yeah, just be in the deployment zone, please. For accuracy.
No, I actually feel like Blades of Cain will destroy most of the stealth use if they ever played the single game versus them, which could be a struggle. I feel like it's an A team. Let's see what will happen.
Okay, we'll see. I would put Kroots in B tier. It's another weird Tau team that's not Tau, that's in B tier. We have 2, which is not much, but it's weird that we have 2 in the same tier, right? But they it's also what is crazy that they are really alike Vespids, right? A lot of bodies and no, I mean conceptually, right? A lot of bodies and good stat line, lacking damage in some way, right? So like,
I wouldn't say that.
Sense?
I wouldn't say that Vespids lack damage. I don't. I would say the damage is actually quite all right. It's unreliable, while Kroots actually don't have a lot of damage, like, which is reliable at the same time. Probably, I don't know. I wouldn't say that like very close. I would say they're more like. I don't know, it's like 12 Kazarkins, something like that, but you trade like damage for 2 additional dogs, something like that. Yeah. They're great.
I like dogs.
I personally prefer cats. But actually I don't like prefer. I would have both of them in the perfect world.
A dog and a cat.
Yeah. Good. Maybe they're lacking cat, and that's the problem, Just give Kroot a cat.
Yeah.
And they will do.
But it's B tier. I think it's a good, like, a well-rounded team. You can get a lot of fun playing them.
The problem is damage, really. Just a lack of AP, in my view.
But with the recent buff, maybe it's not a big deal. I would cautiously put them here right now. It might change in the future if we'll see a single player on a Kroot,
If anything, the recent buff actually makes them a bit more swingy than reliable, which isn't great. You still don't have like little 5 of most of your melee weapon profiles, which I don't think you should have. 3-5, little 5 on like 12 operative 8 wound bodies. But at the same time, if you don't roll any 6, you would you are still like fighting 3-3 in melee, which isn't great. Don't know. Maybe give some kind of support for a melee while not being team wide. Maybe a single like ploy which will give you little 5 in melee, so you can like reliably kill an 8 wound waddle on a charge with just a warrior. But maybe you shouldn't, because you still have dogs. I don't know. Dogs are actually worse than warriors now in some sort of way. I don't know. I don't want to think about them too much. The team is really.
Don't think.
Yeah. Mandrakes are a team. Probably like a contention to S could be.
No, with a nerf, dude. No.
I don't know.
No.
I feel the problem is they have a little too much bad matchups. That's the problem. So they will never be an S tier currently, in current state. But at the same time,
they still just die to a B tier. A lot of B tiers, actually.
Nah.
you know a bad matchup for Mandrake.
I feel like.
No, what do you mean hate? I played the team a lot, and I
you don't like them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I like them. What? I like Mandrake.
So I have had a feeling that you didn't play them. So you played them and then you stopped to play them because you didn't really enjoy the matchups you were paired into most of the times. While I don't feel like the matchups are like terribly bad. You still can play into them.
Yeah, I mean, it's your opinion. I couldn't find a way out of, for example, Gormongers. There is almost no way out right now. I mean, it's a bit better. but I would still say that playing, for example, Murderwing is a complete disaster, because the Predator on a Narcissism just reliably kills Nightwind without him being able to strike back, for example, which is crazy thing to think about. What else? I mean, I can name a couple of matchups where they would struggle a lot. For example, Vespis is actually a very difficult one, because your Soul Blast that doesn't, Balefile doesn't work on them that well, because they're already 5-up safe. There are a lot of them. The profiles are good, so yeah. And this team just isn't, qualifying to be in S tier with this data.
But we're not putting them there anyway, so...
Okay. I would put them close to Blades of Cain. I don't think they're that far
No,
back.
I know. I feel way better than Navis.
Maybe maybe kill them right now.
Maybe they're like way harder to play, but they're better than Navis, in my view. Let's just put it... Just let's say that their position here doesn't really matter. They're just like...
No, it does. But let's put them there.
Okay,
I
have a mouse, yeah, so they will be staying here. So, Canoptech Circle. At this point, it's way easier to say than it was before, that the team is quite good still, and will still probably see some change. But it's a very different story now, after the Warrior changes.
Yeah, agreed.
You can just play, you can enjoy the game somewhat versus Canoptech nowadays. You can still like feel something good while playing this team versus this team, which is great, It's a good feeling to have.
It was a really, really impactful nerf, and yeah, they're still a strong, solid team in the A tier list, but as Jordan said, at least now you have ways out when you play against them. You can basically ignore Warriors right now because they barely do any damage. They still do it.
They will crack you. They will crack you.
Only twice, and with accurate one, so it's not that.
No, it doesn't work on a crack.
Oh no, so with Scissors. With
Scissors, yes.
Scissors would work.
No. I wouldn't say so. Every time, so I've played like 3 games already after the nerf versus them, and I feel like ignoring Warriors is a bad idea. Definitely, don't take it as a financial advice from Nick. But at the same time, you're like not expecting to lose a model to a Warrior, which still can happen, but you don't expect it to happen.
Yeah, before it has happened too many times. I hated it.
They still can they still they can still like, if you're not careful enough, they can on the first turning point move dash shoot you, then shoot charge kill you on the second turning point, which will kill most of the models actually, not like Space Marines, but 8 and 9 or something, 10 Moon model will struggle versus them still. So just be careful.
Keep this in mind. Yep.
And the game for them is also changed. That I wanted to say that this playstyle will be completely different. Probably it will still be very good, which I could expect some changes still.
True. And the last one actually, Exaction Squad. Do we put them in the low B tier? I think they just...
I feel like they're definitely better than these guys, right? Because they have more activations.
I wouldn't say so. They have less damage than these guys.
These guys less than... No, I feel like they have way more damage because they have more shotguns. And the shotguns are better. You can still have piercing on a shotgun twice. Or a little...
Only gets 3+.
Or like a torrent in Into the Dark, right? So lethal 5. While these guys, for example, can only have like torrent 1 and that's it. Or something like that. While this maybe have more damage, but they're way more bulkier, slower, and so on. I feel like the team is alright. Unfortunately... So, my personal thought is that you don't have enough CP for all the stuff you want to do, right? And that's a popular opinion, actually. It's not like I've made it up. Because they have a lot of combo, and a lot of those combo relying on like ploys you can play. And at the same time, you want to play a lot of strategic ploys, which will buff your output, right? You're like shooting, your melee. And in the end, you don't have any CP left for all the fun combo you can do, and you'll be just moving around shooting shotguns, which can be good, but at the same time, sometimes it won't be enough. So why would you ever just play these guys with the shotguns while you have scouts, who I feel like way more interesting, have a lot of more things going on, and a lot of flashy plays you can do. So the team is just alright. I feel like the buff they received is a wrong one. I don't think you should like buff a specific operatives. Maybe you should buff like employees or like they have like, you know, a mark the punishments they can give. Maybe just buff this part of their skill set, something like that. Not the operatives themselves. The operatives are alright most of the time.
Yeah, stat wise they're good.
Maybe
so this is...
maybe give stun to stun buttons. That's the operative buff I would do, because they are stun buttons, right? Or something.
Yeah, the worst melee weapon in the game.
For no reason. Even like gunbutt is better, which is very strange.
Gunbutt. This is a meta. Do we not have a single F tier in the classified format? Interesting.
In last iteration we had Sanctifiers here, but I don't feel like they belong.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too much A teams, but honestly I feel like it's not too much.
No, I think that's all right. I think it's portrays the meta correctly, that we have a slightly like power creep, right? Because we have a lot of A tier, couple of S tier, and just 3 C tier and 0 F tier. So what we need in the next data slate is a bunch of nerfs and just a couple of buffs. And we're going to be pretty close to a very healthy meta. But you know, even now, I think even all things considered, Wolves, Murderwings, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's definitely better than it was, because difference between tiers are like narrowed in the end. Yeah, because previously, more like Navis would be in B, let's say, and they would be way ahead of them. Currently, they are like in A, but I wouldn't say that they're like league better than any B team, really. Same goes for like Brood Brothers or Inquisitions. And even like higher attack circle, I wouldn't say like league better than any of those teams.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to have. Maybe we should preserve it by banning the next box. Yeah, thinking about it.
Let's think about that.
We will see the next box actually in like 2 weeks' time. So we have time to.
But we don't have any rumors, right? We do have any idea?
We do have like Grey Knights versus Horn something, like Horn Demons.
This is gonna be another elite team. Shit.
No. Well, if there anything I could reliably tell you, that in every single kill team box there will be an elite team. Unfortunately, we also have like Legion of the Damned rumor in a kill team.
Who is that?
You don't know the Legions of the Damned?
I know. It's those guys, right?
Yeah, it's basically the Space Marine Imperator demons, right? Emperor demons. We will discuss it afterwards in Russian. I'll tell you lore.
The Hot Wheels guys, right?
Basically Hot Wheels guys. Yeah, that's true. They're like, was it Ghost Rider, right? The Ghost Rider Marines. Let's quickly sum up these boys in rotation. So, Blooded.
Let's start with I think the only team that it's going to be an F tier is going to be these poor boys. They have like 20% win rate. Why would you ever remove an operative from them?
Maybe that's what we call a soft deletion, right?
No, that was a fucking hard annihilation.
Annihilation, yeah, probably. I feel something like that is alright. Like that, probably. And maybe like these, something like that. What would you say?
Yeah. I think like the addition to A tier is Striders, Void Dancers, and Death Corps of Creek, and sorry, slip of a tongue. Strong, interesting teams. Out of all of them, I love the Star Striders change the most. It actually, I think it revived the team.
Let's
people
actually
starting playing
spend
again.
like 5 minutes on a Striders because it's sort of an important team for me personally. So actually, I've already told it in Russian, so I want to just repeat myself in English. So when they were released, so the first point is that the buff itself is not like a very significant one. It is quite significant, but I wouldn't say it's like game changer, like a complete like from 0 to hero buff. It is a good buff, but it's not like an insane one in my view. The team itself, even before the buff, was actually quite alright, but I myself would never play them. I was actually thinking about playing them. It's my previous statement is not true. I would like consider playing them, but at the same time, I would remember my games with them in the start of the edition while we had like 2+ ignore piercing legionaries, right, or like teleporting, killing on the first turning point Necrons, something like that. At that time, team felt very bad, and then everybody just decided they're like bad because they are bad, right? Nothing really changes, but actually, while the team itself wasn't changing too much, the meta round was warping and changing constantly. And currently, even without buffs, the team would be, I feel like, somewhere here, maybe here, right? Because it wasn't like very bad. That the team itself had a lot of damage, a lot of good stuff they can do, a lot of flashy plays, like Alpha Strike into deployment zone, right? A lot of stuff you can perform. And currently, the team can still do it, but better. So it naturally puts it into an A-tier team. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it once again. The team is just like had, I don't know, all the life came back to it. Maybe actually the most important stuff that happened is that nobody actually ignores piercing anymore, which is just why would it ever be the case, right? But this change makes this team very good because you have a lot of piercing actually. You want to use with the cracks, with the hot shot, not hot, but like the hot version of your last guns and so on. The team is just feels very good, and I actually recommend it to anybody who wanna try something very versatile to play, because you can do anything you want really. You can sit in deployment and scout enemy movement. You can push enemy into his deployment zone. You can outmaneuver. You have a lot of mobility, a lot of damage, a lot of reliability. It's a very good team, and I enjoy it quite so much now.
Yeah, I hear how you're rejuvenating from your slumber, and it's nice. It's nice that the old teams are getting some love.
And it's also very good after like you play Aquilons, because it's like completely different gameplay you receive, which is also very good. It's good to have like different teams you want to play sometimes to entertain yourself a little. So that's it.
Shall we wrap up?
Yeah. So as a wrap up, what would be your last words on the meta as a whole? You already kind of said it, but maybe like summarize a little.
It's all right. I enjoy it. I think it can be better, definitely, but I'm really glad that they nerfed Wolf Scouts. They should not. They could not have, because it's like the first data slate from the team release. They usually don't do that, but they did it, and I'm thankful to GW for that. And aside of that, like we'll need to think about Murderwing and the future team's release. What we're gonna do about that. But yeah, this is our review on the meta.
I myself quite content with what we've seen. We've seen here. Maybe you can make an argument to move everybody like from here to B, right? Something like that. But I feel like it's alright as it is. The meta itself is definitely way better than before, and I am looking forward into new teams and nerf for S tier teams in the future.
Yeah, well, really looking forward to it.
So yeah, thank you for being with us. It all was like a little more than a 2-hour run, which I feel like is all right. Hope you enjoy it. Leave comments and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can also support us on Patreon. Maybe it will force us to make more English speaking content, which we do actually enjoy quite a little. What would you say, Nick?
Yes, I definitely do enjoy that. And thank you, Journey, for hosting this nice tier list. I hope it's going to be helpful for someone.
Hope to see you guys in 3 months' time, and have a great games.
Good day.